So as a soap maker, I find inspiration in like every aspect of my life. I see, a cool flower and think I should make a soap like that. Or I see, with this case, a really cool picture and then decide, hey, I'm going to make a soap look like that. So before I tell you what picture I saw and what soap I'm making today, hello, I'm Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You're at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things. And today we're at day 107 of 365 days of soap, and I am making a slab pour modeled after a cool picture that I saw of like the ocean with really cool light beams reflecting on the so I'm making an ocean soap, an ocean slab soap, and we're going to be kind of playing with the colors of the rainbow for this one, which will be a lot of fun. And yeah, again, the inspiration behind this one is solely because I saw this cool picture and decided that I wanted to make a soap look like it. And then after I made this, Georgia May decided that she wanted to play with a couple bars that she had been thinking about doing for a while, and so they sort of became a trinity. And so today is mine with the ocean pour, and then tomorrow and the day following we are going to be looking at Georgia May's accompaniment bars, essentially. So I should stop talking about the ocean slab and go show you what I did. Wow, this is actually kind of a short video for as many things going on in here. And there are a lot of colors going on here for sure. So the whole idea behind this soap is Scout and I were talking, and she had asked me if the ocean or if the sun goes to sleep in the ocean. And I'm like, well, what do you... No. And then I started, explaining. And, the reason that we were talking about it is because we were doing research for the next, planetary soap, right? And that would be the sun coming up because, Leo and yeah. And so she had seen a picture of the sun setting, over the ocean, across the ocean. And it led her to believe that the sun goes to sleep in the ocean. And that was the thing. And she, we went and looked, and we found this picture. We looked at our history and we found this picture, and it was really very cool, actually. So it sort of had, yellows and yellow to orange, and it had all of the rainbow essentially in this picture as the sun was setting, sort of reflected off the water. And I quite liked that and thought that would be a really pretty soap to make. And so that is why we are doing the thing with all of the crazy colors today. Now, for the scent of this soap in the beaker there in the lower right, that is a tea and cucumber blend. I bet you thought I was gonna say it smells like the ocean, huh? No, I don't do that all the time. I really actually love this blend. It's very bright and very, herbaceous, and I dig it. So I thought we should use this for the oil, or for the scent. And the kaolin clay is mixed in with the scent blend for this guy. And the oil blend for this is a pretty standard recipe for me for a slab swirl with the addition of some cocoa butter. Now, so this particular oil blend, we have 20% palm, 20% coconut oil, 10% cocoa butter, And then the other 50% of the oils, those are liquid oils, and it's going to be 20% olive oil, 10% canola oil, and 20%, did I put in this guy? Oh, Karanja, because I have Karanja, and I love Karanja. So we are adding the cocoa butter with all of this because, you know, I actually have a lot of cocoa butter right now, and so that's one of the reasons. But also, no, I wanted this to stay reasonably fluid, but also firm up in such a way that it would allow me to create peaks in the top of the slab. So I want to be able to swirl it and do the thing, but I also want it to set up reasonably fast so I can get some good peaks in. And the cocoa butter will help it weirdly helps extend trace for me. And I don't know if that's, you know, typical for all soap makers, but for me, whenever I have cocoa butter in a recipe, or maybe I'm just soaping differently, assuming that it's going to speed up trace, and so I work faster, I have no idea, but it seems to extend trace. And so I wanted to use that in here to prolong the workability of the soap, but also as it gets, once it gets in the mold, it tends to actually firm up reasonably quick. So I was working with that so I could go ahead and, you know, do the peaks of, you know, ocean waves to decorate the top and do a cool textured top on slabs, which I love to do. I love textured tops on slabs, you know, just almost across the board. It's fun. So we have all these colors that are going to be put into the slab mold. And we're not going to do a wall pour for this. We are going to do it different, and then we will sort of mix them together a little bit and, you know, do the thing. But for now, all of the colors are ready to go and do the thing. So I'm going to now show you the thing, which is the pour. So onto the pour. Now we're sort of gonna go, you know, basically with the pattern of the rainbow, but from the middle out. So we're doing, you know, orange, because we didn't do red, and then we're going to lay yellow next to it on both sides, right? Because in a slab pour, you're going to cut this essentially down the middle of the bar and then cut that into, you know, 6 pieces. That's 12 soaps for this particular slab. And so we're following the rainbow, you know, rules, so the Roy G. Biv, with these. So we have the orange, and then the yellow, and then the yellow green, and then the green, and then the green blue, and then the blue, and the purple. I mean, I know you know colors, but I just was verifying that that's what I did. And yeah, so typically for something like this, I would actually use a wall pour. And what a wall pour is going to do is it's going to, as you continue to layer the colors down the sides of the mold, it will push the first color that you laid down, you know, further into the middle of the mold. And that's awesome. And, you know, typically I would do that, but I didn't want to with this. And I don't know why. I just decided to soap it different. And I guess that's a cool, you know, pro tip. There's more than one way to, you know, pour a soap, to do a technique. So it does not have to be a wall pour. You can do a faux pour. And honestly, I think I've probably shown you this in some of the zodiac soaps, when we do like the flame soaps for the fire signs. I tend to do it, you know, on one side I'll do a wall pour, and on the other side I just won't. And I'll lay down the soap colors where I want them to go, and then kind of, you know, push them back with my spatula if they've gone over too far. And this batter is actually working out really well for the pour, because it's getting thick enough that it's heavy enough to sink into the colors that we have placed, you know, beneath it, to keep all of, you know, the colors in their places, really. Because as you continue to add more soap batter to the mold, everything sort of spreads out and does its thing, and, you know, whatever. And as you can see with some of these, like we've broken the rainbow. It's dark green and there's light green next to the blue, and oh my goodness, how terrible is this? Whatever am I going to do? I mean, I'm gonna lay down my blue next, and it's gonna go away, and then I'm gonna lay down my purple on top of that, and you won't even see that there was ever green blue there, and it'll be fine. Except I'm running out of soap at this point, so then it becomes a pain in the butt getting it in to the mold because now I have to scrape the beakers, which I love doing as a soaper because we don't like, you know, wasting soap batter, obviously. And also our, you know, our plumbing doesn't like putting all this down the pipes, really. So we scrape out all the soap for sure. It's just, I wasn't expecting to have to do this to get all the soap into the mold so quickly. But, you know, it is what it is. And now we're going to put the purple in to sort of push the blue off the side. And look at that. See, it's the green blue is gone. You didn't see it. It's all good. And we're going to do the same thing on that side there and push everything over as well. And it's all gone. It's amazing. It's like magic. I'm actually concerned about this purple though. It's a little bit gray, and purples are tough just in general in soap making to survive the brilliance of a purple. It's hard. Purples and reds, they don't survive saponification very well, and you really have to work at it. And I am the type of soaper that's actually pretty stingy with my micas because, you know, I use the absolute least amount of mica that you possibly can to avoid, you know, the potential for your soap to go, your lather to go gray, really, because that would not be fun. But anyway, everything is in the mold and it's banged down and ready to go. And now I'm just going to sort of swirl all the colors into each other, sort of section by section, to give more of that effect of the, you know, the sun kind of setting, really. And so you have the, again, the orange into the yellow and the yellow into the yellow. I'm not going to do it again, sorry. But it's setting up really nicely. And again, one of the reasons why it's setting up nicely is, I mean, obviously clay soaps, there's a lot of kaolin clay in this guy, like a lot. And also the cocoa butter, it tends to, after you've hit emulsification, it has a really good trace time, but then it tends to start firming up reasonably fast without having to do much to it. So this actually only sat for about, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes after I'd finished the pour before I was able to, you know, do, well, not this, but this right here with the sculpting of the layers here. It did not set up very long at all before it was ready to texture the top, which is good for someone like me because I don't have a ton of patience to wait for these things. And with the sculpting of the top, I'm just going to sort of arbitrarily put some waves down and just use the skewer to pull the soap up into little peaks in different places in the bar to give it a cool texture. And also the colors continue to kind of swirl into each other and over each other. And I'm going backwards with this one, so I went right to left with the peak in the purple, and now with the green blue I'm going left to right with the pole, and it's great. This is, you know, very beautiful. There's nothing that's going wrong with this whatsoever. Again, I am still concerned about that purple. It looks a little bit too gray. I probably should have added some more micas, and I think that's probably fine though, so we'll just check it out. Yeah, and in the middle I'm just doing a back and forth, so one hit right, one hit left, one hit right to left, one hit left to right to pull and, you know, do the thing. There's no real rhyme or reason to this. It's not like an actual like technique or whatever. It's just sculpting a top the way that makes you happy, and this one's making me happy. And that bar actually really does make me happy, and I cannot wait to see what it looks like after a good overnight CPOP. And it is cut day, and yeah, the purple didn't quite do what I wanted it to do, but it's still beautiful. It totally works out, and the waves, the texture is just all the just. I really love the texture on that. I think it looks, I think that's perfect. That's great for an ocean waves sunset into the ocean thing. I just love that Scout, you know, where Scout's mind went with all of that. Like, does it go to bed in the ocean? That's cool. I love that. And so that's Scout's finger, by the way. That's Scout's hand. She was very, very interested in these soaps. So she was here for the whole process, and she's watching it, and she's asking me if she can pour, make the soap, or, you know, and do the things. And, you know, I'm talking to her about it, and she's telling me this cool story about, you know, a sunset into the ocean, and how she knows that the sun goes to sleep in the ocean, and there's this cool like house that's under. She was super getting into it at this point, and that was fun. I really love it when the Soap and Clay Kidlets, you know, come and hang out, and when they're a part of this. It's the reason why I created the business, you know, instead of going back to the corporate world after having Soap and Clay Kidlet #1, because I wanted to be able to, you know, do the mom thing, but also do it in a way where my kids could be a part of, you know, my profession. And that's what we've accomplished, really, with all this. So when they still take an interest, or continue to, or maybe take more of an interest now in the soaping world, it just makes me very happy. And that bar makes me very happy too. Those are just beautiful bars of soap. And I love how you have the cool effect on the sides too, where it goes from the middle of the bar with the yellow all the way to the purple. It is just delightful, and the colors on that are great. I love the textured top so much. That is just such a good bar of soap. And yet the whole time Scout, Soap and Clay Kidlet #2, is sitting there talking about how awesome, you know, these colors are, and how it looks like the ocean, and it's the sunset, and all the things. And so she's super excited about the whole thing, which of course makes me super excited about the whole thing. And I'm, you know, glad that she enjoyed the pour, and I, you know, did a good job for her. But yeah, that's our ocean waves version of, you know, Scout's The Sun Goes to Sleep in the Ocean thing, day 107. Smells of tea and cucumber, and look at that. And there it is, the Ocean Slab Pour. I love this bar. It's so pretty. I also loved how interested Soap and Clay Kidlet #2 was during the process. And so she's very much involved in everything, and watching it, and asking me why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. And that was cool. I love that she's at the age where she's actually taking a real interest in the business, aside from, you know, just bath bombs and really using the bath bombs. So that's awesome. If you are interested in this Ocean Slab soap thing, you can totally find it on the website. It's at soapandclay.com. It is going to be available for an individual purchase, as well as for a 3-part, actually 4-part gift set in the next few days. So, you know, definitely keep an eye out for that as well. If you are interested in following me on social media, I'm there. Do the things, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And if you're interested in more soapy antics, subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate that. It definitely makes me happy when I see my numbers go up. So, you know, thank you in advance for hitting that little button and doing me a really big favor. Anyway, that does it for me today. Thank you so much for joining us for another round of 365 Days of Soap, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.